Hi guys, welcome back to 7th Crown Tarot. If you're new here, thank you for dropping by. And if you're a returning subscriber or somebody who's returning to my readings, thank you so much for returning, and I hope you enjoy this reading. Just a quick disclaimer before I start, this is a general reading, so not everything is going to apply. If it all does, great, but most likely, not everything is going to apply. And so I just want you to be your own leader of discernment and just take what applies and leave the rest for somebody else. Okay, so let's get started here. What is it that my collective here needs to know in order to tap into their highest timeline right now? Is there a message or something they need to know right now? Thank you, Spirit. This one kind of wanted to pop out, so I'm going to take it. Eight of Cups and Judgment. You're walking away from something that was a restriction for you. It was there for a reason. This could have been some sort of relationship that was there for a purpose. I'm sensing that it was something karmic. This could also be patterns of thinking. They could be toxic habits that you were taking on during this time period. Or they could be things that you're slowly starting to notice are part of an old version of yourself. Could be a multitude of things, right? The Ace of Pentacles. There's a new reality here. And you got the Two of Pentacles. And that's why you're tapping in to this area of self-reflection right now. Like you're doing a lot of self-reflecting and deciding what it is that you want to keep that's helping you. You could be doing also a lot of testing. Maybe you're testing out types of habits. You could be testing out affirmations. This is what I'm sensing that you're doing in the current moment. And it's allowing you to ground this new energy into your reality. Because you've taken something before from idea through the process of experimentation, and then you went through the process of planning, and eventually, it became a thing. And for whatever reason at that time, it fell apart because it had to. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe you didn't have the right resources. But whatever the reason, it just wasn't right for you at that time. So what is it that my collective needs to know about this new reality that they're stepping into that would help them greatly right now? To take your time. This Eight of Cups also reminds me of Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is a card that talks about speed. So don't try to do this with speed. Do it with grace. Dance with it and be there with it in the moment. Listen to what it needs, which is what you're doing right now by watching this reading, obviously, and listening to your intuition in turn, because tarot readings are just a reflection of our own intuition and the physical world. Like, I'm just tapping into something that you're already thinking. And the Six of Swords is right below the Eight of Cups. You're letting go of a way of thinking that closes you off from this new paradigm that you're going into. Could you tell me something specific about this? Could you expand on this, please, Spirit? Okay, I'll keep that one upside down because it came up upside down. You're no longer overthinking. You're taking... Okay, so in the past, when you would create something, you would overthink it. And that's why it failed. You didn't allow that area in between whatever it was that you were trying to make and how you were creating it. Like, you didn't allow that area of, like, that mistake room. You had to be in control all the time. But this time around, you're learning, slowly but surely, to let go of control and to allow this thing to guide you instead, which is interesting. It's like you've learned from your past experience that it's okay to be vulnerable. Because yes, you're gonna get hurt sometimes, but when it's like the scars that you get from falling, they become tough skin. So it gave you a tough skin in order to be able to be vulnerable, which was why you had to fail the last time too. You could feel like you don't necessarily measure up in whatever it is that you're trying to start. And so there's a little bit of insecurity here. Will you be enough? Will you be able to line up with the people that are... Like, will you be good enough is really what I'm getting here. But it's not about being good enough. It's about standing out. How are you unique? What do you bring to the table that's unique from all these other people? Because it's no longer about fighting, as we've seen. It's not about fighting the current. It's about going with the current. And in order to go with the current, you have to play a lot. So taking time to, like, experiment a lot. Experimenting is a huge key to your success right now, because you're supposed to discover who you are in this authentic expression of who you have always known that you can be, but you've been kind of apprehensive about it in the past. And the fact that I'm being able to express this so well, I feel like there's this ability to express who you are at your core, and being able to do it so eloquently. People could really look at you right now as somebody who's able to see exactly what it is that they don't want, exactly what it is that they do want, and a lot of people are admiring you right now because you're well respected for the fact that you act on your desires, your deep soul mission. Something that is extremely brave of you to do. And it requires a lot of courage. And it's not just courage that it requires, but it comes off as like you're really smart. You act in the right time, right place, right time, I'm getting. So this could be one of the affirmations that you're telling yourself, and it's working. If that's one of the ones that you're telling yourself, you're completely aligned with it, and actually people see you that way. People see you with lucky girl or lucky boy syndrome. Like, you seem to always know when to dodge. Like when a boxer is really good. Have you ever seen those videos where it's like, how did they dodge that? And then you watch it in slow motion and it's almost like they could see the punch coming before it came at them. It's almost like you can read the minds of people that are coming against you at times, or maybe you can see around the corner. you've got this, your third eye is really open. You're tuned into some sort of psychic ability that's allowing you to, I think that you're tuned into your higher self, because your higher self is what sees ahead. And so you're kind of just acting on whatever they're telling you to do. You are also very aware of your emotions right now. And you're not letting yourself be swept up away from them. From the present moment. But, like, you're not dwelling too much on your emotions, is what I'm trying to say. Just gonna move the cards. Because when you dwell too much on the things that go wrong, it takes away from your vision. I don't know if that's a message for somebody. Maybe there's something right now that you're going through that's kind of stressing you out. Because we got 5-5. And 5s are the number of, like, conflict, chaos, things kind of being up in the air. 5 is a really unsettling number for me. It's like just change. So you're changing from a period of things that were really chaotic to ultimate peace. You're going from one end of the spectrum to the other end. You're causing I'm thinking of like a metronome for some reason. But it's to do with the 12 laws of the universe. The law of polarity, I believe. You should look that law up. I think there's a message there for you. If you haven't seen the 12 laws of the universe, you should definitely check it out. It's really neat. Once you start looking at things through the 12 laws of the universe, which I feel like you either consciously or unconsciously already do, you become like a master manifester. After the 10 of Cups, you got the 9 of Cups. But it's under this, like, 8 of Cups, 6 of Swords, and 9 of Cups. So this could be like an external energy to you. Oh, that one's stuck to my finger. You're no longer... Oh god, okay, so I got, like, you're no longer, like, taking more people on your wait list because your wait list is full. But then I also got the expression of, like, taking names. And I forget what that's a reference to. But almost like having people in like, a book of, like, boundaries. Like, if someone has crossed boundaries, like, you've got this list of people that are no longer allowed in that circle. You don't accept offers that prey upon your vulnerability or your ability to be a vulnerable person. Anything else, Spirit? Let's fill in that one. I know more here. Could you expand on the 2 Pentacles and 10 Cups? There's something here that you don't know about your future. But it's almost like universe wants to keep it a surprise. Because they didn't want me to keep shuffling for that. They were telling me, doesn't matter how many times you shuffle, you won't get the answer to that. So the question kind of internally that I was thinking about is, like, what is going to happen after you step into this new paradigm where everything is peaceful. What happens in that space? But it seems as though we're not supposed to know that. Could you tell me about this situation, this current situation here that they're letting go of? This mindset, these toxic habits, these toxic people. Could you tell me a little bit more about it? That was neat. The card did like a somersault down my leg. I think it went like... So you got the Ace of Cups. And to me, that feels like ultimate freedom. You've got a lot of freedom here to do whatever it is that you want. It's like you've achieved the thing that people want in this lifetime, that a lot of people don't realize that they want until their deathbed, which is happiness. You're taking off things from your life that don't give you that happiness, and it's leaving you space to fill it with things that do give you happiness. And I think right now you're just taking a lot of time to reflect on how far it is you've come as a person living here on this physical plane. And how many things you've actually created. Because there's a huge sense of gratitude here. This gratitude that you have, that you're carrying with yourself everywhere you go, is what's actually bringing in this abundance for you. So I've been feeling that throughout this reading. It's like, as you're walking away from this toxic paradigm that you're walking away from, you're also simultaneously giving thanks for everything that you have. And the fact that you can make choices to walk away. The fact that you no longer have to strategize in order to walk away from toxic situations or places that just take away from you. That make you feel like there's no winning. Like that's no longer your situation. Could you please tell me more, Spirit? Can you please tell me more about this grouping of people? Because smack dab in the center of your reading is something to do with people. Because yes, it's a Five of Wands, but it's also a large grouping of people. So there's something to do with a large grouping of people here that you've stepped away from one group of people and are now stepping towards a new group of people. And you're kind of feeling like a newbie here. You don't know anybody in the group, but you have similar interests to them. So, could you please explain more about the Five of Wands? You've all learned very similar lessons. You could also all study something very similar. Maybe you're all into esoteric knowledge, the occult. You're all into tapping into your higher self. It's like, you're all nerdy in the same way. Maybe you come from similar backgrounds. Similar, like, religious backgrounds, maybe. And And you find a sense of peace being around each other. This is part of this abundance that's coming in for you in the next chapter. Please tell me more. You no longer have to be alone when assessing. Wow, right when I say that. When making decisions on things, because you have all these other people to speak to about, I want to say such and such, but I never say that. So maybe it's you that says that. And we've got the King of Wands. And that's the missing card. That was the missing card that Spirit didn't want to tell me about. It fits right there. It's the same kind of energy. So, I'll just tell you some repeating numbers that I have here. I have 2 4s, so 4 4. I've got 5 5, 7 7. I've got Capricorn. What else do I have here? I do have the King of Wands, which sometimes to me can be like a fire sign, like a strong fire sign. Anyway, so you're becoming this powerful leader. People are really going to look up to you in this next chapter. You might have your own posse. I don't know why I got that word. Posse? That reminds me of like Insane Clown Posse. But I don't really like Insane Clown Posse, if you can tell by my micro expressions. I'm a nerd about that stuff, so if you can read my face, you can tell I don't like them. But that reminds me of like, I don't know, if you think about Insane Clown Posse, like, although their music sucks, personally I think it sucks, they have this like passion and this like theatrical nature to them. So you could have some sort of like theatrical nature about how you go about doing what you're doing. Like, you're there to perform. And you don't give a shit about how people perceive you when you're doing that, because you're in your element. And you're showing other people that they can be in their element too. You could be the kind of, or you could be in a situation where you're nurturing other people's, or helping them to see the kernels of truth in who they are. So you're helping other people explore their spiritual truth, like what soul they have, what type of soul do they have. You could know a lot about the different archetypes, because this gives me someone who knows a lot about psychology. Somebody who knows a lot about like the fundamental truths of people. Like, you know people really well. And so you're using this to your advantage in the future. This was a future card. Most likely. Keep in mind, you can always change things if you don't like it. And you're helping people to invest in themselves. And because of this, you're allowing a lot of people to use the knowledge that they've gained throughout their adventures to like create their own empires. Ace of Wands and the 10 of Wands. Okay, so you're showing people in this new chapter, I get a lot of wealth here. So in this new chapter, you're going to be very wealthy. And I'm talking about like all forms of wealth. You're going to be blessed with all forms of wealth. It's not just going to be, and it's because you're blessing other people. Like that's your goal. Your goal here is not to make money. Your goal first and foremost is to help people excel as themselves. And so you get small amounts of money from this thing that you do, but it's attracting large amounts of people. And your influence here, okay, so you could become like an influencer of sorts. I don't know where I was going with that. I forgot my sentence. But you're letting people like let their guard down. You're letting them let their guard down, but also you're teaching them how to replicate what it is that you're doing at like it seems like you're like charging for this online. Oh, that's so weird. I've never gotten that feeling from this card. You see how he's like putting his hand out from the clouds? It almost gives me like internet vibes. Somebody who's like got like some sort of downloadable content that people can download. And if they were to do this in person, to try to like give this to each one of these people, it would be really hard. This is the card that was beside it. But with the internet, it's so much easier. And so you could be teaching people how to make income off of what it is that they do using the internet. That's kind of cool. You're clearing things up for people, and you're making things really exciting for them again. You're making them excited about who they are and grateful for who they are. You're shining the light on the fact that there is a whole world of possibilities out there for people who embrace themselves. And this is why you're going to be abundant. This is why you are abundant. It's just, right now you're going through a transition period. Right before this moment, it feels like things go from... So this is how I see it. Here, let me move these cards so I can actually give you an accurate read of what your timeline here looks like. So I see it as you get an idea and you start working on it and you get really confident because people like it and it makes you feel powerful. And it's something that really energizes you. Like it keeps giving back to you. And so you're thinking to yourself, well, my current situation doesn't feel that way. And so if it doesn't feel that way, then I need to change it because it no longer aligns with this new person that I've become. Because it seems like you've already become this person. And so you travel away from that. And once you travel away from that job, I'm getting that it's like a place. It's a physical place that you travel away from. Could be like maybe you're living with somebody right now. Maybe they move out. Maybe you move out. It seems like you're the one moving out though. And then after you move out, you're still left with a little bit of that sting from this situation. And you're still a little bit on guard. So you're taking the time during this time period to weed out these thoughts of like fight or flight because you were stuck in it for so long. You were constantly having to have your back, have your eyes open for the next thing that was going to go wrong. And it made you really sad because it made it feel like you couldn't get out of it because your mind was constantly on staying alive and staying alert. So you had no time to really strategize too much. But somehow you managed. I think Spirit came in and gave you this because you started to ruminate on this situation here where things weren't going right, and you started to kind of focus on it too much, and Spirit was like, I don't want them stuck there. They have a beautiful future here and they've learned everything they need to learn, so now they're helping you get out of it. And it goes from feeling like life is tragic to life is stunning and beautiful for you. 10 of Cups. Like you couldn't ask for more. You really couldn't ask for more. When I look at this bottom row here, with the Ace of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Swords, the Seven of Cups, it really feels like when you do finally physically move away from whatever this situation is, your life explodes with growth. So that's really cool. I'm happy for you. It seems like the near future here for you looks really bright, and it looks like you're really pushing towards this. So that's what I see for you. And if you like the way I read, I think I'm going to leave this here. If you like the way I read, feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. And if you want a private reading, I also offer those. My rates and everything are down in the description below, just so you know it's not overly expensive. And yeah, my email is down there, and you can just email me to get a reading. And it's kind of like these, where I'm just a talking head, and I just talk at you, and you have a good little time talking about whatever it is that you want to talk about. And it's a pre-recorded video, just so you know. I'm not doing video calls at this moment. I might in the future, but we will see how I feel. Anyway, I hope you have a good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this reading, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye!